Yo, you got the original Lone Wolf coming at you with a brief little video. Y'all know I hate making videos while I drive, but I wanted to put this out here real quick. And it's kind of like a little part 2 to the video I did last night. Real quick, you know, I'm out here on my way to going to this goddamn plantation. I've always expressed to you guys that I will give you all some sort of suggestions or options or even just some shit for you to just take a look at, so you won't feel as if the situation is just totally hopeless and that there's nothing you can do. Because that's one of the things that where they have our people in a slumber at. Our people really believe that they shit they can do. Like, I be looking at these motherfuckers like, you all are the cowardice niggas, man. But anyway, listen. When you if you are someone like myself who ends up on one of these plantations every day, especially like me, because I got a typical 9 to 5. 9 to 5 with weekends off. Standard shit. Okay? If you find yourself, or if you already on one of these plantations, you have to understand that you have to act the part. There's nothing wrong with being social. You don't want to be antisocial. You don't want to be the weirdo in the room, and you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be a person that, somebody's talking to you and you just staring off in the distance like you in fucking La La Land or something. You don't want to come off like that. But you have to understand that there is a certain code that you have to follow in the fucking workplace. Because that, like I was expressing to the brother, man, I was chopping up with one of the brothers on Discord last night. We talked on the phone for probably, 2 hours or some shit. And like how I was expressing to him, you know what I'm saying? We need to stay away from kissing these motherfuckers in the mouth and being really buddy, chummy. It's okay to be social. It's okay to, engage in a conversation or, whatever the case may be. But as always, you know how our people are. When we do shit, we go too far with damn near every motherfucking thing. And what I mean by that is the buddy, chummy shit. They think because these motherfuckers, we think because these motherfuckers are smiling in our face and we having a conversation with them and we seeing them every day and all this other bullshit, that it's not what it really is, right? Now, the other thing that I want to point out to you guys, and you may already know about it, but I'm just going to, make sure I put it out there so now I know you guys know, for whoever watching. Our people suffer from Stockholm Syndrome, and that's one of the things you see on the job. You see that. They suffer from Stockholm Syndrome, man. Like, seriously. And you all have to understand that shit is a serious mental illness. It is a serious mental illness. Because as I've expressed to people in the past, you cannot just go along and keep your head down about every fucking thing. You cannot be an individual about every fucking thing. Not everything. There are certain things that a motherfucker is gonna have to come together on. I'm not talking about like no Million Man March shit where everybody just go to Washington, D.C. and talk shit, smoke a couple of blunts, and then turn around and come back to the crib. I don't mean like that. I'm talking about when it comes down to getting boots on the ground and actually putting in some work. There are certain things we're gonna have to do together. It's just that fucking simple. You're not finna make no motherfucking house that's made out of brick and stone and wood and all this other shit by yourself. You're not gonna do it. And if you do that shit, it's gonna take you 10 motherfucking years to build that house. You're not finna make a house out of brick and stone and wood and all of the other different ingredients that you can use to make a house. And I'm talking about a house in its entirety from the ground up. You're not finna do that shit by yourself. And you have to understand that, man. These are certain things that we have to come together on. It's just that simple. Stop being so buddy, chummy with all of these motherfuckers. They are not your friends. Understand that there is a difference between people really rocking and rolling with you and motherfuckers who tolerate you. Like I told y'all in one of the older videos, and I'm talking about one of the videos I did on here not too long ago. Where I work at, this is $1 billion, maybe $1 trillion industry. Okay? Working in the industry that I work in, you do not see a lot of our people. Like when I was at Volvo, when I worked for Volvo and Mack Truck and shit, you did not see a lot of our people. I'm talking about on a daily basis when I was jumping in that truck, going to make deliveries and doing all these different things, you did not see our people. And I was only fucking with the industry. You see what I'm saying? Like when I was jumping in the truck making deliveries and shit, you didn't, it was the industry that I was fucking with. The trucking industry, logistics, you know what I'm saying? That shit. You don't see our people. You don't see dispatchers that look like us in these logistical companies where these motherfuckers pull up at in these massive ass warehouses where they got 60 dock doors and shit, and you got all these fucking rigs backed in the dock. They don't hire our people. They don't. Now, you get here where I'm at, it's a bunch of us. I'm looking like, damn. I'm talking about the first thing I noticed. They got women there. They got sisters that work there. I'm looking like, oh, shit, okay, let me see what the fuck is going on up in here. Because you go to a place like Cummins, you know what I'm saying, or Caterpillar, or some old bullshit like that, or Crown Lift, you know, who is one of the front leading motherfuckers when it come down to these forklifts and shit. You don't see our people. Now, I'm dealing with motherfuckers like them. Most of the trucks in the Midwest have Cummins engines in them. Now, when you go to the east or to the west or down to the south, there are different other companies. You don't see a lot of Cummins and this, that, and the other. Like the shit is broken down into regions and sections where Cummins may control a certain part in the Midwest. Oh God, I'm trying to think of some other fucking engine company names, and motherfuckers like Allison Transmission and all the motherfuckers, you know, they control certain regions. I'm getting up in here and I'm starting to work, and you know, I've been there for a few weeks and this, that, and the other. I'm looking around, and the only thing I can do is compare where I'm at now to where I came from. You know what I'm saying? Which is the beauty for me, because I already been in the industry. So coming here is like, okay, I'm gonna just see what will fall back. The first thing I learned is that they don't pay shit. Right? Now, when I was at Mack Truck, they didn't really start me out with shit either. You know what I'm saying? But after my 90 days, I got a $2 increase. And then after my year, they gave me more money. And then a year after that, they gave me more money. You know what I'm saying? This is how you was able to top out at that certain gap, that certain dollar an hour range within that department. Like you work in this department, and within this department, the range is this amount of money up to this amount of money. And then after that, you start getting like 50-cent raises and shit every year. But up until that point, you getting $1, $1.25, $1.50, and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? This is how that job was that I quit. The one that I told you I got my unemployment from. I get up in here, it's nothing like that, right? Now, when they hired me, I knew I wasn't gonna make a lot of bread coming through the door because of the whole thing about, me just coming through the door. So I got all that. Even though they was bogus as hell with me having experience and driving and warehouse and all that other shit, I'm like, okay, let me fall back and see what's gonna happen. You know how it is. It don't take long. You get there. You know how motherfuckers talk and shit. Man, they ain't paying nobody shit up in here. Nobody. I don't give a fuck what department you in. If you a diesel tech, you might have a chance. Because it's funny because I turned down a diesel mechanic position to come here to where I'm at now. And one of the reasons why I did it was because I have no diesel mechanic experience. All of my experience is 100% automotive. That's what I went to school for. That's what I graduated for. I don't have any diesel experience. I have experience doing what I'm doing now. That's the only reason why I didn't go there. It's the only reason. But they hired me too. They called me like, come take the drug test. You know what I'm saying? Because they need mechanics and shit. They willing to train me as an apprentice in the diesel mechanic industry, even though I don't have a background in diesel, just because they know I graduated and I'm a mechanic in automotive. They willing to hire me off the rip. Just because of that alone. Right? So I'm like, plus I don't know if I want to turn a wrench for the next 20 years. And, there's a lot of things you got to consider when you're a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? Or when you want to, further your career in automotive, or if you want to get into mechanic or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Certain things you have to consider. It's like, I'm 45. It's like, do I want to turn a wrench for another 20 years? Or, do I want to be doing all that, laying down on the creeper and all that other shit? I don't know. I doubt it. Right? So I'm saying all of this to lead up to a point as to how you're supposed to conduct yourself on the job. So I get up in here and it's like, damn, man, ain't nobody making no money. Now, I know it's cutthroat. We know that. The companies are shiesty. Motherfuckers, you know, favoritism and, you know, all this other bullshit. We know about all that. I'm seeing how motherfuckers giggle and sniggle and shit with you and they cool with you, but they all in a better position than you. You know what I'm saying? And you giggling and kiki kaka laughing and going along with their jokes and, you know what I'm saying? Like, to give you an example, I had to shut these motherfuckers down. Was that Friday? Yeah, it was Friday, because he told me he didn't have shit going out. He didn't have no chorus going out. The motherfucker that do the chorus and shit, I come back in, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I think I had to unload a truck or something. You know, and these goofy ass niggas got a small ass warehouse. So a lot of our loads and shit that we get, we gotta unload in the parking lot with a forklift and shit. You know, some real scuzz bucket shit, right? I don't know what I was doing. I don't know if I had just came from unloading the motherfucker or whatever. But why did I walk back in the warehouse and these motherfuckers that back there having a debate on Eminem is the greatest rapper ever, period. You know I had to shut that shit down on sight. On sight, I had to shut that shit the fuck down. Get your disrespectful ass the fuck out of here. There's no way in hell you finna put this goddamn pale boy up against our entire motherfucking history of music in that genre. There's no way in hell. You're disrespectful as fuck if you even try it. Now, if you want to say he's the greatest white rapper or the greatest so-called Latino or Hispanic rapper, he better than Fat Joe or whatever, okay, that's all well and fine. But for you to jump your motherfucking ass out there after hee ha ha and giggling in my motherfucking people face every day and jump your ass out there and say some shit like he the greatest rapper ever, period, you are a disrespectful motherfucker. Because you can't justify how that man is the greatest rapper up against the entire history that we have with that genre. You can't justify it. And that's just some rubbish that's coming out your fucking mouth. You have to do this, man. There has to be times where you don't just go along to get along. And this is the pale ass Hispanic motherfucker that I was telling y'all about in the video I did last night. This was this goofy motherfucker. And then you got a couple of motherfuckers like, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know, they know this nigga, they know what this nigga is saying is fugazi like a motherfucker, right? A couple of the niggas that's standing there. But, you know, they don't want to go completely in on the shit and be like, bro, come on, man. I know we cool and shit, but you got to understand and recognize disrespect when you see it. You know, motherfucking people don't want to do that. They want to sugarcoat it and whitewash it. One nigga gonna tell me, well, you know, the motherfucking, the white people got to have their heroes too. You know what I'm saying? Go to show you how, you know, how brothers, how we are. We just, if you got pale skin, you white. Because the nigga that said that this was a brother. He's like, man, well, you know, they white folks, they got to have their heroes too and all that other shit, right? And it's like, okay, that's all well and fair, but what the fuck that got to do with the disrespect that just came out that man's mouth? So I touched on rock and roll and a couple of other motherfucking genres and shit that these motherfuckers done tried to take over, like blues and jazz and all this other bullshit. So it's like, come on, man, don't fucking sit up here and tell me that Eminem was not planted specifically to take over the rap game. Don't fucking tell me that that's not what it is, because they done already done it multiple times in the fucking past. So get the fuck out of here when you talking that bullshit about Eminem is the greatest rapper of all time. You a fuck boy. I don't want to hear shit you gotta say. Fuck you talking about. So I hope that kind of helps you guys understand what I'm saying, that you have to be on point about certain things. You have to be that type of motherfucker that stand on some shit and be willing to say, I don't give a fuck what the consequences are gonna be. That's just the bottom line. It's no different than what I told y'all last night in the video that I did when I was saying, man, one of the things that if you understand that once you gain that power of understanding that if you don't give a fuck about those companies, if you don't give a rat's ass about them or them firing you, they are literally powerless over you. There's nothing they can get you to do at work that's some cornball goofy shit. They ain't gonna be talking to you know any kind of way and treating you. None of that shit. It doesn't exist. Take it from somebody who live it. Every job, every day, I walk in there. That's how I am. On any job, on any day. Like I said, I learned that shit I just said. I learned that before I came into who I was. Before I really woke up to the shit that was going on today. I knew that. I learned that when I was in my early 20s. Early 20s. Because keep in mind, I used to run the streets, sell dope and all that. I made a decision I didn't want to do that no more. So you got to get a job, nigga. You ain't rich. You ain't got no family with money and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? And coming into the job game, the corporation game, in my early 20s, I learned that. That's how you take away their power. This the original Lone Wolf. Stay on code in these jobs. Fuck these niggas. Peace.